Secretary, Miss Betsy Devos.
Let's
So
say
she has
she's looking pretty
decided
today.
that she is going to ensure that all public schools send the money they get from the CARE Act, make sure that the public schools share it with the private schools in our country. And I think the DMV, the Washington, D.C. area, we can kind of relate to the outrage with this. We saw this a couple of weeks ago with the private school in Upper Northwest, Sidwell Friends. Now, Sidwell Friends has a $52 million endowment. Sidwell Friends is a private school that Chelsea Clinton attended, that Sasha and Malia Obama attended.
Hmm.
They have all of this money in their endowment, and yet they applied for and received a small business loan for $5 million. And they said that they're not giving it back. They would rather use that money instead of, putting into their endowment funds. So this is once again an example of the rich maintaining the rich, robbing
Hmm.
from the poor and giving to the rich. The
Hmm.
the care the care fund was supposed to be something that was dispersed to, at least the education portion of it was supposed to be something that was dispersed to institutions and to students during the pandemic, to help them out with any costs that they may have incurred over the past 2-3 months. It wasn't supposed to go to these rich elite schools that already have a means of taking care of their teachers, taking care of their building costs. So my
Uh,
question to you guys is, do you think it's fair? Should public schools bear the brunt of whatever, um, I would say, debt that private schools encounter over during the pandemic?
I think, but this is just me personally, that there's a lot of pollen and leaves that get in the way of people commuting past these schools. And if they don't take the money from public schools to clean this up, who will? Who will?
You think, Griffin?
Why don't you
So,
want rich people to be educated?
I mean, are they really being educated? Look at Donald Trump. He grew up rich and he's a dumb MF, a dumb mofo. So,
you're you're anti-education. That's the problem.
I mean, I
You're
feel like it
education.
defeats the purpose of public versus private schools. I mean, private schools. I mean, you could provide some funds for private schools, but primarily you should be focused on public schools because that's what a government does.
and
Right.
you have
Private
to
schools are
consider
supposed to be
that a
privately
good
funded.
majority
Yep.
Right. By
And
definition.
you have to consider that a good majority of public schools, at least in big cities and in urban areas, are a part of low income neighborhoods. A lot of these schools are already failing.
Hmm.
And so, the idea of taking away from those schools that need it most and sending that over to the big rich school up on the hill where tuition is $50,000 a year is absolutely insane.